Hello and welcome to Nintendo 64. I am not your regular voice. My name is Pete Beckett. I am a guest contributor for today and for the next few days potentially, where we are going to be doing a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 coverage on the channel, as you would expect. Happy launch day, everyone. We are here. I actually went to a midnight launch last night, got home rather tired, so didn't do this until the morning. So we're here now, and I have the Nintendo Switch 2 with me, so we're going to do an unboxing video for it today. So as you can see, here is the console itself. So the packaging, a bit smaller than what was before with the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch OLED. As you can see, I got the Mario Kart bundle, so will come with the code intact. So here we go. So yeah, nice clean packaging, nice and simple, I guess. So pretty much. So as you can see, I actually haven't opened the game or the box just yet because of the fact I'm an old man and I'm exhausted. So was up early this morning, so let's do this, shall we? Let's unbox this. So apologies if I knock the camera a little bit. I am trying a new setup, but we are going to try and get into this here. So yeah, as you can see, quite simple to remove the seal itself. So let's take it all out and see what we've got. It's a nice big Nintendo logo as you open the box up. So let's put this on its side and open it up. So that's just an outer, so it's an outer shell, and we've got the box here. So you can see got a little pull tab to open it. So we're going to open it up and see what's inside. So should tell you on the display here how to charge your Nintendo Switch. Weirdly enough, it's got support for different adapters, but obviously UK, so that for us, which is fine. So here we go. Right, so as you open the console up, you can see, sorry, I'm just going to pop the box up like that. You can see we've got a left Joy-Con coloured in blue. So obviously, so you can tell that it is the left Joy-Con, and the right Joy-Con in red. So let's take these out of the packaging themselves. They feel very nice, very smooth. As you can see, this button here will be the magnetic release, and same with the secondary one. Same on the other side. So yeah, all well and good there. So I would imagine this is this is the Switch unit itself. So let's take it out, and yeah, a little bit larger than the original Switch or the Switch OLED. So for comparisons, I've got it here. You can see here's the Nintendo Switch with the Joy-Cons on, but here's the Switch 2 with the Joy-Cons off. But let's put the Joy-Cons on. So they snap into place on the magnetic rails now. So you can see that there's the little, you can probably see it there, the little clip. Yeah, nicely, actually seals in pretty nicely, and then obviously to release, off it comes. The magnet is actually pretty strong, which is great. So, and you can really feel it snapping into place as soon as it hits it. So very nice so far. Let's move that Switch away. So let's get further into the box, shall we? And I'm going to remove that because obviously there's a code there for Mario Kart that I don't want anyone else to redeem. So you get a booklet here with the important information, obviously how to set up your manufacturer's warranty, all that sort of guff, as you sort of would expect with this sort of stuff. So we've got what I would imagine is a HDMI 2.1 cable. So obviously for 4K transfer, you're going to need a 2.1 cable. This comes as standard within the box, which is great. So I'll leave that to the side because you do not need that right this second. Delving further in, you've got the Joy-Con straps, which are very, very different this time around. You can probably see they're not quite as bulky as they once were. They actually look like they fit in there really, really weirdly. But I'm gonna test them out in a second. But yeah, they're not quite the same as the original ones. I wonder if I've still got them. I'll see if I can find the other ones, the previous ones, but they are around somewhere. But yeah, not bad. I'll have a look at those properly in a minute. But let's get further into the console itself, and let's take this out of box, because this is where all the good stuff's going to be. Because I say all the good stuff, this is probably something that's not really going to get used very frequently, let's be honest. It's the Joy-Con grip. So Joy-Con grips here. Probably it's a bit more smooth on it around the back. So probably after long play sessions, probably has the feeling that it might fall out of your hands a little bit. Obviously, it's got the magnetic rail, as you would expect with the same with the Switch 2. So not sure about that. Not quite sure that I'll be using it, but hey, I've got a Pro controller, but we'll get to that in a minute. So power brick, as you'd expect. UK, obviously, because I'm in the UK region. Very strange one, because actually it's a USB-C adapter, so it's not USB-A to USB-C or a proprietary one, kind of like it was last time, where it's all built into the unit itself. It's actually just a USB-C cable on both sides, so that easily plugs into there, and you're good to go. Nice and easy. So it means, obviously, if you're out on the road, you don't have to take the whole unit with you. You can just take the cable, which is fantastic. I tend to use a power brick, so the power brick actually, power bank, sorry, will be much better in that respect for having a fast transfer cable or a fast charging cable, possibly. So, and now finally within the box we have the Switch 2 dock itself. So a little bit different actually from what the previous dock is. Obviously you can see there's a little bit more fans and ventilation at the bottom. You'll be able to see it, and there's a little bit of a gap on top as well, where you can probably where you'll be able to open it up. Two USB ports at the side, which was the same as it was on the Switch 1. And then if you open up the back, you can see, oh, it actually falls off. Okay, fair enough. So you've got your USB-C adapter, your HDMI out. You've also got your LAN port just here. But also what you can't see behind there is the fan. You can see the fan vents there, but this is obviously to make the system a bit more cooler when you're using it in docked mode. So that's going to be great. But yeah, I'm not sure if if it's actually supposed to fall off. But hey, if it does, so be it, I guess. But well, that's a bit strange. But yeah, okay, so that's that. So let's move this aside, and then let's unbox what else we got with the console last night. So, taking that away, I'll leave it on the floor. So we'll leave the Switch 2 just there so you can see it in iShot, which would be perfect for everyone involved. So, next up, we've got the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. So this was not cheap, let's be honest. This is £75 RRP, but I have already used it, and it is not a bad controller. Well, I'll say that from the limited playtime that I had of it, it was not a bad controller. I described it as basically being an iterative update of the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, kind of like the same thing as using an Xbox One controller to an Xbox Series X or XS controller. So let's slide the box open. As you can obviously see, you've got your normal warranty information, so we're going to put that aside because we need to keep hold of that. Entertainment unit is a little bit further away and you run out of charge, which doesn't happen very frequently, let's be honest. You are going to be a little bit stuck, but the main draw, obviously, it's a wireless controller, so if you are stuck, then you can always use the Joy-Cons for a little bit whilst it charges. I can imagine it only takes a few hours to get a decent amount of charge in it. So here's the controller in its packaging, and there it is as well. So first impressions, I say first impressions because I used it at the Switch 2 experience. It's actually quite smooth. It's a lot smoother than the Switch Pro controller itself. So let me grab that. Can't unplug it now. Of course I can't. There we go. So here's the Switch 1 controller and the Switch 2 controller. You can see much more different colour pattern on the top. Can also see as well on the Switch 1 Pro controller that you had the textured grips. Also on the back too. They've completely done away with that, and it's all completely matte and smooth. Not necessarily the greatest fan of it all being smooth, especially during long play sessions. It could get a little bit, let's say, dirty and sweaty and uncomfortable if you're playing a lot of Mario Kart and you get sweaty. Not the best. I do like the contrasting colour on the top though, and one of the biggest draws of it obviously is the new capture button, or the new chat button, sorry, which will be locked behind a paywall, which is after a while, but hey, we've got it. Plus there's the somewhere within the controller, I can't necessarily see where it is, there is an inbuilt microphone, I believe. So, and then on the back, one of the new draws is you've got two additional buttons which you can either hotkey or they'll be assigned to a button of some sort. So I'm not sure what you would have to do with that, but we'll figure out as it goes. Also, there is a headphone jack at the bottom of the controller, so if you use wired earphones, amazing, you can now use those, which is brilliant. So yeah, overall I will see how this fares, but I quite like the controller. I used it very briefly, as I said, and it's not a bad controller, but we'll see how longer play sessions go with it. So let's put that aside, and then we'll unbox the two other bits that I got. One of them I got previously, which was sent out by Amazon, so from SanDisk directly actually, so we'll cover that now, which is the new storage. So if you want to get the Nintendo Switch 2 and you want expandable storage, unfortunately you will not be able to do it via its normal SD card method. You do have to pick up a new SD card known as an SD Card Express. These were a very limited value before launch. They seem to be a little bit more readily available. It seems that Nintendo have done a really good deal with SanDisk and got some own branded ones, which is fantastic, I guess. And you can buy these on the Nintendo store, or you can buy these from Amazon or from any decent retailer. Like I said, my issue at the time was that I couldn't get one directly anywhere else, so I had to go directly to SanDisk themselves, which, hey, on back order wasn't the worst, if I'm honest. So let's just get this open. So it comes in a nice little packaging, like very well protected, lots and a good bit of film around it to keep it well covered. So I've got a 2-year subscription to Rescue Pro. Fantastic. I'm really going to use every minute of that. But I'll keep it aside anyway. So nicely enough, actually, which I think is a really cool, a good idea, is it comes in a little case. I'm not sure if this is the case, pun intended, when you buy directly from Nintendo themselves. But actually, when I got, I would imagine it is, because it's all SanDisk. So here is the SD card. As you can imagine, very, very small. The Express one, so 256 I bought. It's a very small thing. You could very easily lose it, so be very, very careful around young children with this. But if you're getting a console and you're setting it up yourself, it's going to be quite easy to just drop it into the console and then basically forget all about it. Fantastic. So the final thing that we're going to unbox today is the only game that I have actually bought physical so far, and I was on the fence about whether or not I was even going to get it, but I did buy it last night because I had copies of it, which was Street Fighter 6 Years 1 and 2 Fighter Edition. So this is Street Fighter 6 plus years 1 and 2 of DLC characters. So there's 8 DLC characters, making a total of 26 fighters for the price of £50, which, considering I paid £45 or £50 to start off with the first year DLC on PC, and then another 20 something, it's not a bad price, to be honest. So the unfortunate side of this is what you can see on the box, that this is a game key card, which is which seems to be causing a lot of issues. So a lot of the data isn't actually on the card itself. It's essentially just a license on there. So if you're buying physical, just make sure that you can see whether or not if you're wanting for purposes to not have to download all your games, make sure you buy games that will have that are not game key cards, if that's your way. But unfortunately, some companies are only going down the line of including their games on game key cards. I think one of the very few examples of having a full game on the card itself at launch is Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, which is fine. So, right, let's crack in and let's see what's actually within the case itself. I know I've obviously done this in a really silly way because there's the tab. I've been an idiot. But hey, right, so let's take that off. I've just knocked my camera like an idiot. Sorry guys, you can see I'm experimenting here. So you can see very, very nice artwork. They are somewhat a little bit similar but slightly different to the Nintendo Switch games. So essentially the same size, which for parity's sakes, really decent, I guess, because they sit nicely on your shelf next to your Switch games. You can see that there's a clear differentiation because you can see the little banner at the top with Switch 2. Obviously you can see it at the very top as well, and this one is an all red case. I don't know whether this is going to be standard, but it looks like it is for the very early games. But let's get in, because what do we have here? So we have the game itself. So there's the game, there's the card. So nestled nicely within. I'm trying to get it in the right spot. There we go. But it looks like we actually have a DLC code, which will be probably the DLC code. The code for the DLC characters themselves, which, okay. So not the entire game isn't actually on the disc or on the key card itself. We knew that anyway. But also the fact is that I think Elena, which is the final character from Season 2 or Year 2, actually has only just come out today, so somewhat understandable that the code is there. So, right, so that's it. That's all we've got for you today. So that's the Switch 2 unboxing. That's the Pro Controller and a game, and some including a little comparison to it. So, thank you for checking out this unboxing video. I apologise if I've been a little bit rambly. It's the first one I've ever really done, and the first contribution I've done for the Mike Tendo channel for a long time. So if this is your thing and you want to see more content on the Nintendo Switch 2, please make sure to check out the Mike Tendo 64 YouTube channel, and also check us out on the social channels at Mike Tendo 64 on Twitter, or you can search Mike Tendo on Bluesky, as well as Facebook too. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and keep on gaming.